So today I'm going to be showing you this chicken chili recipe. It is the best chili we've had, and it's with ground chicken, and it has some other ingredients that are kind of unexpected.
So this is the cookbook, Cooking in Everyday English, the ABCs of Great Flavor at Home by Todd English. I was lucky enough to pick this up for $2.88 at Odd Lot, but it is worth way more than that. He has a lot of nice recipes that are for every day and some that are for special occasions, we'll say.
So here are the ingredients we're going to be using. I'm making a double batch, and so I have a little bit of extras. This meat is going to look a little different than what you get in the store because we ground this up. We have a meat grinder attachment, and we kind of did it a little bit thinner than what you would get in the store, and we don't have the added fat that they have. So I'm probably going to need actually a little bit more oil. So we need oil of your choice, garlic, onion. He calls for fresh garlic. I don't usually keep it on hand, to be honest. White beans. I have Great Northern beans, and that was the last white bean that I had that's in a can, so I have pinto. Usually if you know you're gonna make it the day before, you can actually make your own beans, and that's what I would usually do. This is Bud Light, so I guess this is light beer. I don't know. I don't drink it. But yeah, he calls for light beer in the recipe. Salt, cumin, chili powder, diced tomatoes, which I'm going to use some of my own, and a can. And then he calls for chicken broth. I use Better Than Bouillon base, add water, rosemary, and then I have some cilantro that I had added to lime juice that are going to be added in. So that's what we need. I'm going to go ahead and cut the onion and get this cooking.
So I wasn't sure if you guys would want to see me doing the most work that it takes, which is cutting up and dicing the onion. And you would actually do this for the garlic as well, but I just always have minced garlic in the house. So you're never going to see any fancy knife skills or doing anything particularly perfect. I just do things, quickly. The small space that I have, I just worry about getting us fed. I'm not worried about being perfect. So you just want to make sure you dice it as evenly as possible so it'll cook at the same rate. But it's not rocket science. It's just dicing up the onion the best way you can. Ideally, I should have doubled the onion, but just from eyeballing it, I thought that it was sufficient enough for us, for our flavors. But you can definitely keep the recipe as it is. It is very tasty when you follow the recipe.
So I'm going to continue adding the rest of the onion. And he calls for 1.5 cups, so you need about 3 cups of onion. I didn't have that amount, I can tell, but I'm gonna just say that looks okay to me. For the garlic, I need 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna put 4 tablespoons. Then, like I said, that along with the a lot of garlic, I know. And that's probably what gives it really good flavor. So now we're just going to kind of mix that all up, work it all up. Let's see. And we're gonna get cooking. Now, he also says to wait to do the seasonings, which are the cumin, chili powder, salt. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and add them. So, chili powder, we need 2 tablespoons, so that means I'm going to have to do 4. And I know you guys know how to do that simple math, but I'm going to add it in. I just like cooking my meat with the seasonings. And that's a lot of chili powder as well. It's going to be a little bit spicier if you're gonna have your kids having some of it. Don't worry, the beer does cook off. You might want to do a little bit less. And if you are a person who really likes things spicy, you can use diced tomatoes with green chilies. So the cumin is 1.5 teaspoons. So when I'm doubling that, that's actually gonna be 3 teaspoons, which is 1 tablespoon. So that's gonna make that easy for me. And then the salt. Salt is 1 teaspoon. So I'm actually gonna just use this tablespoon. It's gonna be 2 teaspoons, which is gonna be 2/3. And that's what I'm just gonna do. Now, if you're using a diced tomatoes that have salt in it, you may want to put a little bit less. But and if you chicken broth also has some salt. So, you might just want to keep those in mind depending on your taste. So I'm going to just mix the spices now before it even really starts to heat up. And I put the oil in before because, as I said, I just added it from the meat grinder. So I put the oil in there first, added the meat straight here. So I'm actually going to add a little bit. And I'm going to clean that up. So I'll come back when it's hot. So while I'm waiting for the chicken to cook, I just got the cans ready. You want to keep all of the juices from the diced tomatoes, but you want to drain the excess fluids from the beans. What I noticed is if you guys have a Kroger, if you ever get those organic beans, they always have so much less than the other beans. Something I noticed. Just got my Bud Light beer open as well. I keep letting this cook a little bit more. Make sure we crumble it up, and then we're going to add the beer, the chicken broth, and the tomatoes. So I added in the broth, added in one of the beers, and this is the canned diced tomatoes, and this is just my fresh tomatoes as well. So we're going to mix everything up and let it come to a boil. We're boiling now. We're going to let this actually simmer for 30 minutes. So it has sat. Yes, you're scared of the fly. I know. It has cooked 30 minutes uncovered. And that's one thing. The chili does look a little bit more like a soup. But we're going to add the beans now. So even after letting this cook for 30 minutes simmering uncovered and then extra 5 minutes just for the beans before you add the herbs in, it still has more of a soup consistency than traditional chili, but this is actually how it's supposed to look according to the picture. So to serve, garnish with some cheddar cheese and some lime juice and enjoy. It is really good. The rosemary and cilantro really make this dish. Hope you enjoy.